It's the truth. I love you brothers, man. Don't worry about it. It's about the truth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Apostle concentrated, vessel full of celestial juice. Enslaved tracks, mics I noose. Chords dangle from the strangle, resembles a slave getting lynched. On his last kicks, dipped in bronze, competition stiffens. In response to lifting, know to be they dust if they down with that nonsense. Biting the tips on bigs, leaving imprints on our hips. Making thoughts of puddles with my pen. Diving in, swimming in hymns, kin of gems. Words or roads are just road stems that bend with the pressure of the wind. Basic curved words inside blue lanes, they merge. After I live the verb, on a constant taste the day-to-day bitter herb. Accent, laxative, must be true spiritually. So artificially purge any lifestyle of a herb inside of me. Chess piece, Jimmy locks, fuck keys. Got I with the native remedy. For these all you can be MCs. Make they bodies sink and ride the Mississippi. Cats need to be winged. Devil titty carry venom. Shit is denim. Cats get hit by so-called strays. Most high sit 'em. The only thing left is photos and widows' palms. Accepting words of bonds from cons. Cause Don Juan's feet on the minds of blondes.
Flying in feathers, smoother than lambskin leather. But how I pimp it, it ain't the subject of this newsletter. From the creator, I was blessed to excel and prevail in a world that's frail. Me and IQAhmath shine, but maintain integrity. Going way back like peace pipes and Cherokees. Real from the womb to the catacombs. They bury me spitting with digital talk, clarity and precision. All up in your face like missionary position. Wishing for redemption for how when y'all ain't listening. The Lord got a question for all the claim to be destined. Who's the blessed one in this session? Chop you up like Szechuan. This how I do, I'm in the booth. Bit from the hip, 21 gun salute. Knock you loose like tooth when I come through. My name's business, cause I'm all about business. Handle this, this is how I do it, so scandalous. Come out the deep, dark dungeons of Los Angeles. Freestyle tip, off the top the dome, scratching this. Off the head like dandruff, you on the canvas.
I don't shoot guns, I split lungs. Snatch tongues, leave them fried, they don't understand why they got hung. Talking about something they couldn't handle, got dismantled. Come from every conceivable angle, up under the sun. Left their ass running, they don't understand how I'm coming. Shining like the sun, be shining around this motherfucker coming. Better than the most, cats think they can handle but can't come close. Fuck when I find your ass burnt like ghost. Watch how you sit there and get done in the dough, it ain't cheating. Learned that shit a long time ago, motherfuckers is creeping. Trying to come in slow, but I already know the game. So I entertain the thoughts in my own brain and come off strange. They don't like this shit when it comes down like it was rain. Understand the pain, better than the motherfuckers come like a strange. That's how it is, it gets done like that. And I won't stop. Talk what you want to talk. Watch how your ass get popped. Boom.
All ears to this deadly medley. The verse is dangerous, but the piano's deadly. Think you can handle it, you wet off the Sherman Hemsley. Dead broke, so I ain't rolling the Bentley. The honey's checking me out. I told Satan, don't tempt me. Breath is fresh, cause I stay with the dentine. Don't be messing with the cloth that's skinty. When Christ returns, we hit the dirt on bent knees. In volume 1, told the heathen, get the pipe and the testes. Amalekites living life trying to be like me, but that's a dead end. Chop the dome, ridiculous poems, and let the rigor mortis set in. Shake the dice, wanna see who's betting. See these snakes, get the text of wetting. Got the word and the truth, and that's a serious lesson. You're making idle threats, but the kid ain't fretting. You yes.
Let this ghetto nemesis marinate through your dome. Break yourself, nigga. We surrounded your home. This ain't no joke, killer. Bow down to the zone. Bow down to the zone. Bow down to the zone.
Esau thought he was gonna fool a brother, huh? Trying to put his wool over my eyes, huh? Yo, sapsucker, what else to say on San Francisco, you old fish eye fool? You ain't fool nobody, fool. Look at us, sons of Jacob, out there in Lemur Park, kicking it real hard. You don't know what's happening, but we know. We go feed our people. That's right.
All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. While Yahweh Shai, this your brother Ahmath. IQAhmath first name. IQ is all the same. You reach another episode of DSTM. If you've been around, you know what I've been putting down. But if you've not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Shout out to all the family that's in the house, man. Salute to all of y'all that's tapping in in the chat, man. Blessing to y'all. Prayerfully, everybody is well today on the Lord's Day. You dig? Got a lot to talk about. I'm gonna try to be concise, knock it out. Some y'all already know. You just waiting to hear my perspective on it or to see if we're on one accord with it. The zombie hordes, are they going to be unleashed? Aladai loves the zombies. You know, I dig them too, but he's obsessed with them. But if you talk about zombies, man, you're really talking about a mindless mass of people who are driven by hunger and thirst for blood, food, and any means of survival, and they move in hordes, right? And they only respect those that are just like them. You understand? When you see all the people that's online and they're going crazy about, you know, EBT. If y'all remember, I did the video a couple weeks back, maybe a month ago. I don't know. Time's moving so fast. About the sisters out there crying and in a frenzy because the EBT was getting cut. We're going beyond the cuts. With this government shutdown, they're talking about completely being wiped out of funds and no funding. We ain't talking about, oh, you used to get $1,200 a month and now you're only getting $300. And to get that $300, you got to work 20 hours a week and go find a job. Meanwhile, there's no jobs. That's a whole nother scenario. So regardless if this particular shutdown and this lack of funding affects the minds of the people, because you see they got the TikTok armies out there trying to provoke and trying to get people to join in on the fun, talking about they're going to go rob the stores and they're going to eat in it. We'll see if they fall for that. Or is this just a measure of social experimentation? Is it a social experiment? That's what I sit back and wonder. You know, let me share something with y'all real quick. Some of y'all may say social experiment. I heard the term, but what is it? Let's look real quick. All right. What's going on here? Hold on, Shalaki. Why is my keyboard not working? Oh boy, here we go. My keyboard is tripping. What the hell happened? It's not even typing. What the hell? Shalaki, y'all. Give me 1 second. Ain't that something? I guess Satan just had to let it be known he was in the house too. Because my keyboard definitely was not typing just a second ago, and it was typing all over the place. Anyway, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh. We in the house, can't be stopped, right? We in here. So, social experiment, man. Real quick, it says a social experiment is a method of psychological or sociological research that observes people's reactions to certain situations or events. I hold the fact that this is a social experiment, right? Because look, I know I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun. But we got to lay a foundation, right? This is a social experiment that they're doing. It's one of two things. It's either a social experiment or this is, like Naquan put in there, planned chaos that they're going to unleash to see the reaction of the people. Remember, everything is about the Hegelian dialectic. You remember that? Just in case. The Hegelian dialect, just in case anybody forgot about that, right? Now, it's easier when you just look at it, which here's the whole thesis you can see here. The Hegelian dialectic is based upon these particular principles of psychology, right? They create a problem, and it's all socially engineered, meaning it's all planned and controlled. The problem will now incite people to desire a change. Now the social engineers come back and they say, well, we've got a solution to the very problem that they started, but they wanted to see what the reaction was going to be of the people. So these are all socially engineered problems and experiments that they're doing, right? And because of the desired change, now they're going to come in with a proposed change, which they wanted to implement from the whole time anyway. But they couldn't do it until people realized there was a problem and they were begging for change. So why do I say that? Because you never know when you're dealing with a social experiment as such, because you see, right now, everybody's worried about food. Their EBT's getting cut off, SNAP getting cut off, right? That's besides the point. Eventually they're gonna end the shutdown. People gonna get their food. They're gonna be back eating again, right? But what comes back, they still got to deal with the reduced money that they're getting. They still gonna have to deal with the restrictions that it's gonna take for them to get said money, right? It's not just about, it's beyond just, oh, the EBT shut up. No, they already implemented the changes that it was gonna take for you to even get the damn thing, let alone your Medicare, benefits for medical, all that stuff is included now. Section 8. Yeah, and then you wonder why they have us living in what's called projects. Think about it. A social experiment is a method of psychological or sociological research that observes people's reactions to certain situations or events. The experiment depends on a particular social approach, where the main source of the information is the participant's point of view and knowledge. To carry out a social experiment, specialists usually split participants into two groups, right, left, active participants and respondents. See, the so-called Republicans is out there saying it's the Democrats that's causing this whole panic. They're causing the shutdown. They want to starve out the blacks and Hispanics and the poor people. And they're the ones who want people to, because they want them to utilize the zombie horde, Democrat, liberal, whatever they want to label people as. They want to motivate them to incite riot, to incite destruction. That's what the Republicans are saying. Meanwhile, the Republicans are doing the same things because they've already instituted changes that's going to affect households. So it's two wings of the same bird. They are there playing games, right? We're going to get to all of that, let alone America's damn near declaring full-fledged war on Venezuela. I thought it was about the drug cartels. Now it's about the entire country. We're not letting this go. I'll say it again. Hey, Oliver Stone needs to pay me, man. As much as I done promoted that damn documentary, I need to get a check, man. Somebody reach out to Oliver Stone, man, and tell him. That damn demon, man, he did a damn good job with that documentary, man. Broke down the whole social political situation with South Central America and their relationship with America and the IMF. That's what we're dealing with, y'all. So let's get to a couple scriptures and then we're going to go ahead and get right into this thing. All right. Let me share my screen one more time. And let's start with Mark. Because now's the time. If you was wondering when was the time to start praying, hey, you ain't got to wait no longer. Right? The scriptures tell us to pray without ceasing. But at the same time, we're seeing things starting to accumulate. Remember, we're in the feast time. We just ended out the 7th month. The 7th month is the end of the harvest season. It's the Feast of Ingathering, which is known as blowing the trumpets, right? That's also the acknowledgement of blowing the trumpet to alert the people of, time to assemble for war, for convocational means, to make moves, right? So when it was time to move or be situated and be put in particular strategic positions, we were blowing the horns for those means. So think about all those things in the spirit, right? The horns been blown back in the 7th month, right? Which gave us opportunity to trim the fat, so to speak, through atoning. When you're dealing with agriculture, and I made mention of this before, you deal with a thing called pruning, right? And when you're dealing with pruning, remember we're dealing with a harvest season, right? And ingathering. And let's look at this real quick. Pruning of a plant or a tree or whatever. Let's see what they say. Now look at this. I know it's AI, but here goes the links. Stump plants and this old house is where I collected this information from. I'm on a time constraint, so I don't have time to do full research. As much as I talk about AI, I won't be a hypocrite. I do use it only here for DSTM purposes, for time purposes. Any other time I do full research and present it as such, but for time's sake. And this ain't nothing that's make or break understanding. But here you see, just want to understand what's pruning. Pruning a plant is the selective removal of certain parts, such as branches, buds, or leaves to improve its health, shape, and growth. You know, when you deal with ingathering, that's when you're bringing in your crops. You're bringing in your fruits for the winter, right? It's the time to the harvest season, the spring and the summer. Those crops are now beginning to die off. You're starting to prune those plants so that you can gather in the fruitful things that's going to be beneficial for the household, for business, whatever the case may be. The things that aren't, you're going to remove those, right? So it's pruning season in the 7th month as well, because certain parts you may find missing, gone, removed. And it's all for the development and the betterment of the growth of the plant. So that's what we do within ourselves. We have to look within ourselves. We prune out the sin, the wickedness, the malice, the spirits that are against the fruits of the spirit, the fruits of the flesh. I mean, the spirits of the flesh. We got to prune those things out so that we do it through atoning. Once they're identified, now you atone for those things. You remove those things up out of them, body, right? Then we go into tabernacles. So, well, tabernacle could be similar to like a greenhouse, where you start creating an element, an environment that your growth can now come back healthy, improved, better, right? And then it's time to dedicate that. So next month we're gonna have a dedication time, the dedication season. Okay, this is exactly what we're going through right now. So when we're looking at the time frame, seeing everything that's going on right now, now is that time. The Lord said, take ye heed, watch and pray, because you never know. They may let all hell break loose for a month or two with the cutting of the EBT. The way that things are moving in the spirit, it's par for the course for things to get turned up a little bit more. Then you can understand, we can all understand better why the National Guard and troops is on the streets, because remember they said it's not just for ICE backing up ICE and for immigration means, it's for crime. Remember that? That whole narrative changed quickly. It was talking about ICE first. Oh, it's for immigration. We're trying to get all the illegals and the criminals and the rapists and the murderers and all that. Remember, that was the whole scenario that Trump and all that they was pushing. Oh, we got to get rid of all the bad immigrants, right? And then give the good ones opportunity to come back the right way. All that's out the door. They ain't talking about nobody coming back. They talking about getting rid of them, rounding them up, throwing them in the camps, alligator Alcatraz, a whole nine. And now it's like we need troops on the street for crime. And here they are now, all of a sudden, inciting people to commit crime so that all of a sudden, well, guess what? We got the troops on the streets already. So here you go, problem, reaction, solution, all rolled into one. This is why the Lord said, take ye heed, watch and pray. We have to observe, we got to watch, we got to pay attention to what's going on. And then also incorporate prayer into that, because why? For ye know not when the time is. So we don't know when the second coming of Mashiach Yahushua is going to be here, right? But he gave us plenty of signs and wonders and things that we have to pay attention to understand and know the times that we're living in. These are all paramount in understanding where we're at. Okay, let's look at this over here. 2nd Ezra 5. And we read verse 1 down to 3, and then we'll drop down a little bit. So it says, nevertheless, as the coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So we're going to see a time where the word of truth is going to be hidden. You start hearing about, free speech being taken away. We talked about that. What is it? NPSM 7 that Trump is enacting, where now they're targeting anybody that's anti-American, anti-Christian, extreme on race, and all this other stuff, trying to criminalize those things. They're building up the AI tech to where they can monitor, trace, track, record everything and anything that comes out of your mouth, my mouth, to be held liable. They've got the AI out there lying and creating fake scenarios and narratives and mistaken identities, taking people, locking them up, all of the above, right? So the way of the truth is going to be hidden. Amos 8 tells us that the word of the truth there's going to be a famine in the land, but not of bread and water, but of hearing the words of the Most High. So we see those doors of now being opened. They're not locked no more. You hear the locks is coming unlocked, the deadbolts taking off, and you hearing the door slowly but surely opening up for those things to come in and affect us. Right? But look at this here. It says, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest. So it says it's only going to get worse. Christ even told us that because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold in Matthew 24. So look here, it says iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest. So we're only going to see a progression of things getting worse. So now when you're hearing people online making these extreme declarations about, well, hey, if I don't get my money, I'm just taking it, and you better get out my way, and all hell's going to break loose. Like, this is the mentality, and guaranteed, the people that's doing all that, saying all that, they ain't gonna be the ones that's in the damn stores. They're doing it for views. They're trying to get a check on they TikTok. Yeah, that's all money motivated. Some of them are actors and actresses out there trying to, be seen and saying, hey, did I get them? Yeah, girl, you was convincing. Shoot, you almost had me believing you was on food stamps. There's one viral one, man. One sister, man, she got glasses. She's like, it is your job to take care of my kids, and I can't get my disability. I mean, I know y'all all seen that. The light-skinned sister in the car with the glasses on, talking wild about how it's your job to take care of her kids, and she needs her food stamps or whatever. Like these people are. I guarantee you, she got off the line and said, "How was that? Should I do another one? Should I take two?" You can't believe these people are really that damn mental. Maybe they are. I don't know. The Lord said that my people are like Sodom's children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Who knows? I don't trust too much that goes on the internet, especially if it's coming from TikTok and Instagram and AI driven type stuff. I mean, the matrix that we're in right now is so tricky. It's ridiculous. But this is the times that we're in. The way truth's going to be hidden, the land's going to be barren of faith. You see a lot of people out here moving like they have no faith. They don't have no belief no more in the Most High. They just out there doing whatever. And that's the environment that they want to present. Kill or be killed, survival of the fittest, all of those things are now becoming the norm as far as thinking is concerned. Right? So now it says verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. So yeah, America the beautiful, America the great. At one point it had a strong root. Nobody thought this place was going to be shaking or moving. Now we're hearing the same type of talk that you would hear in a third world country about how people now are going to be going starving and hungry. I thought this was a land of opportunity. This is where everybody was going for milk and honey. Who would have thought that now in 2025, the year of our Lord, that people in America would be in a frenzy and a panic about not being able to eat, homelessness rising on the daily, jobless claims rising on the daily. Where's all the opportunity? Repossessions of cars, people getting evicted, all hell breaking loose, economically, socially. Here they are here in America where it once had a root, now it's becoming a waste. Suddenly. And you notice all of a sudden it's like that. You know? Let's drop down and read a couple more verses. Verse 7, and the sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night. What's a sodomite sea? Sodomite sea, a sodomite is an abomination, right? These are things that detestable that cause and bring death. So we're seeing that the sea now is going to cast out fish. We've seen multiple stories, and I'm sure y'all seen all kind of videos or even pictures of dead sea, dead fish washing about the sea by the thousands. What's killing those things? What's causing the seas to be uninhabitable anymore? I mean, I dare go out to all these seas now that have become waste dumps and all of that. They've got so many damn from out here in Huntington Beach in California. They've had scandals about oil waste getting dumped out in the seas, contaminating the waters, fish dying, high mercury levels in fish caught in Alaska and Washington State, I believe. Over the years, we're seeing radioactive damn shrimp and all kind of the seas now are now becoming problems. This is why Esau's out here making genetically modified fish now, salmon, genetically modified tilapia, and all this other stuff. We're seeing all these things happen. It says to make a noise of the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. So everybody's going to witness and hear and see these things, right? They've got a YouTube channel called Strange Sounds. They've got trumpet soundings, all throughout the country, sonic booms. I mean, all kind of things is happening. Look at verse 8. It says, there shall be confusion also in many places. Yeah, a lot of people are running around here confused, whether it's about who they are, their nationality, their history, so forth and so on. People don't know where their next meal is coming from. People don't know if they're going to get that job that they applied for. I mean, there's confusion all over the place. They're confused about what happened. How come all of a sudden all the blacks and Latinos that voted for Trump, how come he's making a U-turn and now all of a sudden they ain't getting the support that they thought they was going to get? He was supposed to be the America First president. All of a sudden he's helping all these other foreign countries with their aid and giving them money and letting everybody else here in America suffer. He's building a ballroom in the White House, $20 million. Gold lacing up the Oval Office with all kind of gold and everything else. I mean, people is confused, right? All throughout the world, wondering if World War III is going to jump off next week. It says, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places. Yes, you're going to see animals, beasts out of their habitat. Brother just seen a damn owl on a tree on his block a couple days ago. We was on the phone. The dog was like, man, it's a damn owl out here. Where do you see owls in the damn in the neighborhoods now? I've seen falcons in my neighborhood. Like, they don't normally be over here, but guess what? The food chain's running low. They got to come down out of their habitats to find some food. You're seeing bears learning how to open up doors and walking in people's houses. And I've seen them in convenience stores and all over the damn place. Skunks in the damn middle of the neighborhood, possums, coyotes roaming the streets like it ain't nothing. They're all changing their places. It says, a menstruous woman shall bring forth monsters. Yeah. So women on their cycle periods, that when they having these kids, a lot of them now known as quote unquote YNs. Notice how even we've managed to classify the names of the wild young youth now. YNs, little young niggas, right? When you got to put a label on it, that means things have changed. Back in the 90s, when Hillary Clinton called young black youth super predators, that was offensive. Now they're embracing the YNs, calling themselves demons and all kind of stuff. Like, we're in bad shape now. When the youth now are acknowledging that they're demons, it's all bad, right? Now, It says, "The salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber." Yeah. So we're going to see times where it says friends destroying each other. Wit, or meaning wisdom, is going to hide itself. Understanding is going to withdraw itself into a secret chamber. All hell is going to be breaking loose, man. People are not going to be moving in any form or fashion that makes them seem sane, i.e., the zombie hordes that we're seeing right now online, yelling and screaming about what they're going to do if they can't eat. Yeah, this is all pre-planned. Troops is on the street, SWAT teams on deck, snipers on the roof. They're ready. Matter of fact, hold on. Look at this. Army Zombie Apocalypse Manual. I talked about this, give or take 8 to 10 years ago, about the, look at this, U.S. Army Zombie Training Manual. It's not a joke. They really have field manuals regarding this. They want to train the troops to be able to mow down crowds if need be. This is why all of the newer games that are online now is all geared towards shooting. Remember the whole zombie thing was really big, especially during 2019, the 2023, 2024. All the little shoot 'em up games on PS5 and everything else was all zombie based. All the movies was all zombie based, some sort of infection breaking out, people tripping, because they know that the next level of recruits is going to be in that age group, that youth group, that have become desensitized through these games by shooting up things. Here I go right here, 2012. Right? How long did I say? I said 8 to 10 years. That was 13 years ago. Yeah, I was at least on it at least 10 or 11 years. I don't think I got it in 2012 that I got hip to this, but I know for sure I brought it out a couple years after I found out about it. But they have a whole training manual, man, of how they're going to deal with the useless eaters, as the elite call you and I, right? And they're preparing for those things. And that's why it says wit is going to hide itself, understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber, and shall be sought of many and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. So this is where you're going to see massive sin, uprisings. So that's why I said I'm open. It's very possible that they extend this shutdown to cause people to fall into this particular area of prophecy. It might just go down. Right now, I hold the phone and say, this is a social experiment. They just trying to see if people are going to do what they say they're going to do. They or it actually could be the door that opens up all hell breaking loose in these streets. It very could be. We don't know. You know, that's why the scriptures say, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord, for what end of it will it be for you? So I'm not pushing this. You saying, man, hell yeah, I want them to tear us. Nah, because who knows? Some of my family work in these areas where people are threatening. So we're going to see, but one way or the other, this is going to come to pass. Okay. And look here, verse 11, it says, one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. So in other words, they're saying people are going to be asking around from one land to another. How is it in your city? How is it in your state? Are y'all safe? Is righteousness over there? Is everybody calm? The answer is going to be no. Everywhere is going to be bad. I can hit Bayan and say, what's happening to Detroit, man? Is it right over there? Hell no, it's going down, man. Same thing over here. I'm hitting another brother. What's happening over there in Jamaica? Y'all all right? No, shit, it's going down over here too. Is anybody doing right? The answer will be no. It's going to be bad news, right? So is this the precipice is this going to open up the door for all of that through the EBT? I don't believe so. I do think that if they do let it linger on, there's gonna be some problems. But they're gonna turn the lights back on. The government shutdown ain't gonna be forever. Because what do they need to do? They may double back and say, okay, well, you know what? We got to change up everything. Here comes the digital ID. Here comes the new forms of currency. Here comes the new qualifications in order for you to live and survive in this beast system. They've got to create the crisis so that they can, institute their doings, right? That's why I played the clip of Rahm Emanuel a few weeks back where he said, "You never let a crisis go to waste." But they need to cause a crisis first. So the next crisis that we see fully on deck right now, as far as it stands here in America, them No King protests and all that was all, for entertainment purposes only. Like you notice it didn't change nothing but your travel times and the traffic and everything else that we experienced. But other than that, what came of it? Nothing. That following week, Trump then said, "Man, get the B-2 bombers out in the warships, line them up over there in Venezuela." The peace talks that he was supposed to have with Putin, they said he was supposed to have another talk with Putin. Putin called that off and was like, "Man, I ain't talking to you. It's over with. It's on." So let's get to let's get to this, man. You heard the peace talks over there in Israel and Hamas. What happened with that? All of a sudden is in jeopardy. Huh? What happened to that?
Israel launched its heaviest wave of attacks today since a U.S. brokered peace agreement between Israel and Hamas began.
Did you hear that? I hope y'all know. And if you don't, it said that Israel launched its heaviest attack post the peace deal.
A week ago. Both sides are. Israel launched its heaviest wave of attacks today since a U.S. brokered peace agreement between Israel and Hamas began a week ago. Both sides are accusing each other of violating the ceasefire. Fox's Trey Yingst has more from Tel Aviv.
Israel says it will continue to allow aid into Gaza following violations of a fragile ceasefire with Hamas. And the Israeli military says 2 IDF soldiers have been killed by the militant group during combat in Gaza Sunday.
I mean, can we really trust what the GMO small hats are saying, man? Oh, 2 IDF soldiers got killed. So that means go ahead and bomb away. Who knows what's going on over there? All we know is that so-called peace deal didn't last 7 days before they went back lighting each other up again. Right? So we ain't falling for the okie doke over here.
Israel launched its heaviest wave of attacks today since a U.S. brokered peace agreement between Israel and Hamas began a week ago. Both sides are accusing each other of violating the ceasefire. Fox's Trey Yingst has more.
So I'm gonna leave that one there, right, for time's sake. But Isaiah 48, 22. There is no peace, saith Yahweh, unto the wicked. Like we're at the point now where the man of perdition has been revealed, as it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. We know who the wicked is now. We're not going to be ignorant, dumbed down Christians running around here. The wicked is Satan. Everybody else here is all peace and love. No. The Lord said the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. We're seeing how the so-called white man is coveting fields, believes the earth is his. He's doing what he wants. Just how we see Trump doing what he wants down there in Venezuela and other countries, right? The Lord said, man, there's not going to be any peace unto the wicked. Everybody and their mama is recognizing the small hat GMO astroturf people over there are not the people. They're realizing that they're wicked, that they lie, that they manipulate, that they control everything from media to politicians to whole countries. Everybody looking at them like they're the wicked. Look, the Lord said there's going to be no peace for that. That's out. That is out, right? So don't fret when you hear, oh, Trump brokered a peace deal, get the Nobel Peace Prize ready for him. No, we seen that lasted less than 7 days before they got back getting it lit again. So don't fret and don't be like, damn, man, the prophecy fell. I thought that. No, it's still on. Okay, now let's look at this. The Fight House. Oh, they back at it again. Trump warned Putin will, quote, destroy Ukraine in a second White House shouting match with Zelensky unless he makes peace now. What happened to, see, if you remember last week, I showed you where he was being a hypocrite. And I remember I brought up James 1 and 8, where it says, you know, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. 1 minute he's telling Zelensky, man, bow down. Next minute he's saying, hey, you actually can win. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and send these Tomahawk missiles over there for you. Then he says, oh, now I'm not going to give you the Tomahawk missiles. Then he had another meeting with Zelensky after all of that, and they got into it again. So now Trump's saying, well, look, I'm out of it. Y'all better stop this ish, or I'm just going to let Putin take you out. So they got into it again, right? Trump warned Volodymyr Zelensky that Ukraine will, quote, be destroyed if he doesn't agree to Russia's peace terms. The two presidents reportedly wound up in a second White House shouting match after Trump insisted Kiev must accept some territorial losses to end the war. Trump was even overheard, quote, cursing all the time. During a heated exchange in the Oval Office, people familiar with the matter told the Financial Times the fire exchange was reminiscent of the pair's head-to-head in February when Trump and his vice president, J.D. Vance, laid into Zelensky for what he was wearing and his attitude. I love it. I love it, man. Let them bite each other's heads off, man. Let the snakes keep biting each other and tapping each other with their own venom, man, until they all fall out and die. Right? Kingdom divided against itself can't stand, man. And as long as, you know, Ukraine is looking for acceptance, Ukraine put themselves out there. They're being used as the I don't want to say the patsy, but that they're being used as the what's the term that they use? I forgot the term that they use, but they're being used as the puppets to engineer war and dismantling. There you go, Jason. The water. Proxy. Yes. They're being used as a proxy. They're the most corrupt country in the world. That's documented. That's been said. So you know they were told ahead of time. Here's the deal. We're going to implore you. We're going to give you everything that you need. We need you to start tearing up things in Russia. We need to dismantle. We need to disorganize. We need them to be crippled. You're not going to be able to beat them because we don't want it to go nuclear. But we're going to give you all the tools that you need to at least put up a good fight, man, to dismantle the construct of Russia as we know it, so that when they're crippled, they have no other choice but to bow down to America and to the Western powers. Ukraine says, hey, well, what do we get out the deal? You're going to get more land territories. You might even get out. We might even bring you into NATO if you beat them. That's all they want. Oh, we want that. We're going to get billions of dollars. That's going to help us, you know, sustain our governments and line our pockets up with American fiat. Yeah, we'll do it. So now here they are 3 years in. And they're like, hold on, you guys are backing away from our agreement. Well, you're supposed to keep supporting us. And well, look, the scripture say, man, nobody pities a snake charmer when he gets bit. You want to play around with that old serpent? You got bit, man. And they backed away now. Now they like, man, get up out of here. We can't even deal with you no more, man. You draining our pockets. We over here struggling as it is. Remember when Slow Biden was in office? They said they was running out of money and bullets for all the aid that they were sending to them. Remember 3 years ago when it was so hyped up about supporting Ukraine and all this other stuff? People was running around with their little blue and yellow flags and stand with Ukraine. And Zelensky was on MTV. He was on damn award shows and everything else promoting his propaganda. They was propping him up like he was just this lowly underdog, man. And we got to support him and all that. Now all of a sudden everybody's like, man, the hell with him. Bring it all back. We need the money. Why are we supporting them? All it takes is a little bit of time before people wake up and they're like, you know what? Nah, that's out. Let's back out of there. So now we're seeing them shouting and going at it again. Right? Now look at this. Pentagon orders an aircraft carrier to the Caribbean. Now the question is, here they are talking about this is a war on drugs. Since when have they been employing B-52s, aircraft carriers, thousands of troops on deck, bombing fishing boats for for a drug cartel? We still ain't seen. I ain't seen a lick of powder. I ain't seen a pill. I ain't seen a joint, whatever they claiming they sell. I ain't seen none of the above. They're quickly destroying everything. They just said they killed two Trinidadian fishermen in their last bombing. Trinidad's over there in the uproar, like, damn, they didn't take out a couple of ours. It's the innocents over there, man. And America's like, hey, man, stay out the water then. Too bad. Oops, sorry. How many times have they done that? Bombing, killing weddings and all kind of stuff over there in Afghanistan, and they double back killing women and children, and then they say, oops, sorry. Our bad. No, we can't deal with that. Where was we at with oh yeah, two. Look at that. Cops still in the dark on the killing of the two Trini fishermen in the U.S. airstrike. They can't get no answers from America. What they got to do with what happened? I ain't seen no dope, no drugs, no nothing, man. But here they go, right? Okay, so now they're out here ordering aircraft carriers. I said it from the beginning. I'm gonna say it now. Y'all all know. Everybody should be fully convinced this is a complete invasion. We seen a couple weeks ago, while I showed you Maduro was saying, "Hey, I tried to negotiate with America for months on end. I told them, man, I'll cut off China, I'll cut Russia off. You can have some oil and gold, man. Let's be friends." And what they get for that? Bombings, blown up boats, invasions, and the whole nine. So you trying to tell me the whole country is a drug organization? Or is it something more nefarious going on? This is how you know, man, a white man is a damn devil, man. And he tells you, man, he covers fields, man. He tries to concentrate on how he can destroy a man and his heritage and his household. You talk about the bloodlust of desirous of things that aren't his. The covetous spirit, man, is all within this dude. Micah 2, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. I mean, they can't sleep because iniquity is so much on their mind. How they can be more wicked, more evil, more seductive, more tempting. How they can be more destructive with stealing and robbing and plotting and planning. They tell you, man, you see these billionaires, man, these cats sleep in their offices, man. They barely get a couple of hours of sleep. They're on Adderall and all kind of drugs to keep them up all day. You seen Elon Musk, man? What, like a year or so ago, they was talking about his whole drug. He got caught with all kind of damn drugs. Now, mind you, all of them wasn't illegal, but they was all like, you know, memory enhancing drugs and ketamine and all kind of different stuff, man, the dude was on. These guys, man, don't sleep, man. But that's how Satan moves. That's why in 1 Peter 5:8 it says, man, be I don't want to misquote it. Let me get it. Be vigilant, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. His whole objective is to devour and to destroy. And that slick roaring lion, man, they move in packs, but let them find some weak, disabled gazelle, antelope, zebra, not paying attention, got lost from the pack, got too greedy, drinking some more water out the pot, and they get devoured. Yeah, that's how Satan moves. He don't sleep. We need to get our quote unquote shut eye and beauty sleep and all of that, right? And he even comes in your dreams. When you're driving and you're daydreaming and you all of a sudden say, damn, where that thought come from, man? I know damn well that wasn't me. Well, I sitting over lusting at that sister over there and she's standing there with her man. What I'm tripping. Satan's like, oh yeah, you wasn't being vigilant. You wasn't being sober-minded. I'm on you. You're open for temptation. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna line you up later. And you try to shake it off. No, I'm good. You go to sleep here, you're dreaming about the situation. That's Satan for you. That's how the things work, man. So we got to be mentally focused, vigilant, meaning always on guard. We're at the time now, man, you can't afford to be letting your guard down. You can't afford to not be protecting and shielding your spirit, your household, your flock. Because best believe you me, man, that spirit is floating around, man. That dragon is flying around, zooming in and out of households, zooming in and out of people, zooming in and out of congregations, causing turmoil and destruction everywhere that it goes. And if you're not paying attention, you ain't got your shields up, you ain't practicing Ephesians 6:12 on down with the spiritual warfare and arming ourselves up with the armor of the Most High God, you can forget about it. Because, amen, this devil, he's moving. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. They wake up and they like, let's get it going. Telling the secretaries, man, hold all calls. I got to have a meeting about this. Bring everybody in. Move this, move that. Hey, what's going on with the tech sector? What are you doing over there? How many people are you seducing? How many people are you tracking? How many people are you listening to? How many people? I need all reports. Do you have the TikTok army? Are they ready? Are they out there influencing? Are they controlling the narrative of the people? Yes. Okay. Where's ISAP? We need to get them going. Lay down the law on everybody. You know what? We're going to give them full autonomy. They can do whatever they need to do. Beat up whoever they need to beat up. Arrest who they need to arrest. I mean, they're doing it all. What's happening in Venezuela? Oh, they bowing down. They tell. I don't give a damn. Bomb them. I want it all. We need to get rid of Maduro. We need to throw in the Spaniard over there so we can go ahead and control them. They want it all, man. Why? It says because it is in the power of their hand. Remember, the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked in Job 9:24. All you got to do is figure out, well, who's controlling the earth? Who's controlling the narratives of the earth? Who controls the tech sector? Who controls the World Bank? Who controls the stock market? Who controls the World Council of Churches? Who controls all of these things? That's all you got to do and say, if it all roads lead back to one people, then you know what it is. Who controls entertainment, sports, you name it. And if it just so happens that their last name might be Goldstein or Feinberg or something like that, then you know. We ain't got to talk no more on that. Look. And they cover fields and take them by violence. See, that's why Maduro, when he was saying, hey, I tried to negotiate. I was offering oil and gold to them, and they wouldn't take it. I tried for months. No, because they don't want it by negotiation. They want Venezuela by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house and even a man in his heritage. Venezuela's already ran down, man. That's why they're trying to get over here. That's why they're migrating to Colombia. That's why they're migrating throughout South and Central America. They're trying to get out of there because of the socialism, and the economy is so jacked up over there. People are making purses and wallets with the money because of the inflation. The money ain't worth jack squat over there, man. They've been on food rations and power rations for years. Can you imagine where you got to live in a situation to where your water is only turned on for 20 minutes out the day because they got a ration of water? That's going on in Venezuela right now. They got 20 minutes out the day. The water company comes through. They turn on the water. 20 minutes you have to fill up as much water as you can. Then the pipes get turned off, and that's for a day. Rolling blackouts, same with the power. You might get electricity for a few hours out the day. That's going on over there right now. And here comes the damn devil, man. He's saying, they're going through hell over there, but I want it all too. I'm gonna make it even worse for them. Have y'all seen them images? I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Just to move in the spirit. See this? Look at her. See, they're playing games with these images, man. Look at him. This is what they money. The money is worthless. You understand? They're out here making purses and wallets because the money ain't worth nothing. Look at Venezuela's currency worth more as a craft paper than its money. That's where it's at with the inflation rates going on. The dollar is worth jack. Their money over there ain't worth nothing, man. They getting creative, and that's Israel for you, man. That's what makes it so hard with Israel because we know how to make ish into sugar, right? We can cool down in hell. That's a gift and a curse that Israel has, man. We adjust in adversity. They smiling, man, and you see how creative we are? These are purses made out of money that they've learned how to weave together and make whole purses and then sell them. You can't tell them that they in hell. They said, man, we'll figure out a way. That also kind of makes it hard to wake our people up too, because you got to convince them they in hell, and they say, but hell, I'm over here surviving. I'm all right. I've made a way, and that becomes an issue, right? So getting back to the point, man, this is well beyond we're invading as a battle against drugs. I mean, what happened to the Sinaloa cartel down there in Mexico, that they don't exist no more? The Juarez cartel, they don't exist no more? You got cold-blooded cartels right on the border and in America, and they saying our biggest threat is Venezuela. China's over here importing fentanyl through Mexico, and they saying the biggest threat is Venezuela. Come on, y'all know and we know we're way too smart and wise over here to believe that foolishness. So that warfare is about to get turned up. They talking about a possible invasion into Venezuela within days, right? Let's continue. Look at this. Maduro boasts of thousands of Russian anti-aircraft missiles as Trump threatens military action inside Venezuela. So now it's going outside. It ain't just going to be the fishing boats, man, and the innocent people they've been bombing and killing. They talking about creeping up in there. Now, Maduro has no choice but to declare a state of emergency and say, hey, you know what? Well, we got some anti-aircraft missiles, man. Maybe that'll back him down. We see it worked for Russia. It worked for, China. Anytime they threaten, America with nukes and all that, or any type of warfare, America kind of second guesses and backs down. Maduro, it's not going to work for you, man. You ain't got the complexion for the connection, and you ain't got the damn means to stand up against America. You can boast about you got Russian anti-aircraft missiles. They ain't going to mean jack squat, man. So he's trying to call a bluff. He's trying to step up to the plate. But he's already said that he was going to denounce China and Russia. So now China and Russia are going to be looking at him sideways saying, you was ready to cut us off for America? And now America, they ain't take that offer, and you're going to look for us to help? No. You keep what we gave you. Good luck. See, Venezuela has 5,000 Russian-made anti-aircraft missiles in, quote, key air defense positions. Its president, Nicolas Maduro, claimed on Wednesday amid growing tensions over the United States military deployment in the Caribbean. Trump has said he is weighing military action against Venezuela as part of a counter-drug trafficking campaign. Yeah, of course. Oh, my goodness, man. This dude is wild. It is wild, man. But let's continue. Colombia's leader accuses U.S. of unaliving and destroying or smiting. Try to be cool for the YouTube algorithm. They don't like that word. Colombia's leader accuses the U.S. of smiting and prompting Trump to halt aid. President Gustavo Petro said a U.S. strike in the Caribbean had killed a fisherman. President Trump said he would cut aid and impose new tariffs on Colombian imports. You see how that works? You speak out against him and you call him on his BS and say, man, hey, you killing fishermen. You just killed a couple of Trinidadians. You destroying people for no reason. Trump's response is, hey, guess what? You should have mind your business, President Petro. Shut up. We're going to cut aid and we're going to give new tariffs on you and your imports. How about that? They can't even say nothing without him responding, tapping their pockets. See, Colombia President Gustavo Petro of Colombia accused the United States of unaliving a fisherman in an attack on a boat that the American authorities claim was carrying illicit drugs. President Trump responded on Sunday that he would slash assistance and impose new tariffs on the country. That dude is wicked as hell, man. Because why I say that? Because you're going to see how he's treating Argentina. You're going to see in a minute. You can't say, they can't speak a word, man. You say, hey, what happened over there, man? Didn't some innocent fishermen die over there? Hey, you need to be called out on that. What'd he say? Hey, shut up. New tariffs. Wow. And you ain't getting no more aid. How about that? You like that? Calmate, amigo, come on. Sorry. They're going to bow down real fast. But see, Colombia and Venezuela, they got a particular relationship. You'll find a lot of Venezuelans move to Colombia. Colombia be bringing them in and helping them try to get on their feet. But see, Trump knows that. That's why he like, hey, you know what? Oh, you got something to say? You could be next. The feud between the two leaders reflected rising tensions in the region over the huge U.S. military deployment in the Caribbean, targeting Colombia's neighbor Venezuela. U.S. forces have killed dozens of people in recent weeks aboard vessels that Trump administration says were ferrying drugs from Venezuela. Yeah, right. Look, Trump claims unquestioned power to deploy troops to San Francisco under the Insurrection Act. We talked about it last week. This is why you can look and see while they're allowing and talking about getting the people up in here to get riled up. When they swipe that EBT card and it says declined, to make them make more decisive measures about survival. So when we talked about the Insurrection Act last week and the troops on the streets and him trying to bypass posse comitatus and seeing if he can, get the military on here to act as the police and create a greater police state. He's going to try to do it. Now he's talking about doing it in San Francisco. Imagine that. Look, President Donald Trump said he has unquestioned power. This is why the Edomites man was running around there talking about no king's protest. Because they're saying he's acting as a king, he's acting as a dictator. He says, I've got unquestioned power. This is similar to, look at it, unquestioned power, right? Very interesting to use those terms. Let's look at First Maccabees. This just hit me in the spirit. First Maccabees 1, right? And what does it say? Second? No, I want First Maccabees. So First Maccabees, we go through the history. This is about the coming up of Alexander, the freak of Greece, right? Him establishing his 4 generals, Lysimachus, Cassander, and Ptolemy, and why is the last one escaping me? Cassander, right? And all of them became the new tributaries. These are the 4 wings that was on the leopard in Daniel 7, right? But one thing I want to see, after Alexander dies, verse 7, 12 years he reigned, then he dies. All the 4 generals, they took over and became tributary rulers in their particular regions. This is what I want right here. Verse 9 and 10. It says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. So you had particular dynasties that were set up through these men. Ptolemy dynasty. You have various dynasties that was being set up, right? Now, it says for many years, and it says, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Now, mind you, this is when the so-called white man came into power, right? This is the real fulfillment of Job 9:24, with the earth being given into the hand of the wicked. And once you give it to him, what's it say? Evils get multiplied in the earth. When he's in control, don't nothing but evil happen. And they continually multiply, and they get worse and they get worse, right? So you had the Seleucid Empire, the Ptolemy Empire, Cassander had an empire, the Lysimachus had an empire, but the two greatest ones were Ptolemy and Seleucid, right? And out of the Seleucid Empire came Antiochus. Now, or some say Antiochus, however you prefer, I could care less, right? Now it says evils were already in the earth. It says, and there came out of them a wicked root. Now, if the earth was already evil, the fact that they had to still impose the fact that this guy was rooted in wickedness, that means he was going with the spirit that was already in the earth and some. Now, this word epiphanies, and its surname epiphany, means power manifested or godlike manifested, right? This is what he came with. Power manifested, right? Son of Antiochus, the king who had been a hostage of Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Now, when you hear a word like epiphanies, right, and then you hear Trump saying he's got unquestioned power, and here we are in a time that's evil, and who is the staple of wickedness right now that everybody's looking at and saying, man, Trump is wicked, man. I'm just saying, in the spirit, these are the times that we kind of are envisioning. Because what ended up happening, it was tribulation and issues for us as a Jews living under the Greco-Roman era and the Greece in particular kingdom, the destruction of the temple. We had to have insurrections and fights and wars going against the Greeks for our liberties. And here we are fighting, getting ready to fight now for our liberties. People are already protesting about freedom of speech and all those other things, right? Now we see here, he says he's got unquestioned power to deploy the National Guard and reaffirm that San Francisco will be the next city to face federal intervention. In an interview that aired Sunday on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures, Trump floated invoking the Insurrection Act, a centuries-old law that allows presidents to deploy troops on U.S. soil. Don't forget, I can use the Insurrection Act. Don't forget. That he's holding that in his back pocket. Now, whether he's bluffing, if he's trolling, who knows? Because he does that. But as of right now, he hasn't been bluffing regarding sending troops on the streets, regardless if it's 500, 200, 1,000 to patrol the city of 1 million. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that he's doing it. And as soon as people see them damn fatigues on and them M4s or whatever else and the damn Humvees rolling through the streets, that's enough to make them be subdued. They'll calm down. That's all he wants, greater control. But he's saying San Francisco could be next. They already got him in multiple states all throughout the country. What was the last record we had? 15 to 17 different states got him. From Memphis to Chicago to New York to LA to all over the place. DC. So he's saying, I got unquestioned power, man. I'm going to use it. Look at this. Pete Hegseth doesn't dispute plans to have crowd control troops in every state ahead of 2026 midterms. So you're talking to midterms, that's a year from now, right? The midterms will be the second year of the presidential election. And that's when they get to vote and who's going to control the House halfway through his term, right? So they're already saying we're preparing to have troops on the streets in every state by 2026. And they're saying this by April. They're getting ready to have this. Why would they this ain't about no damn midterms. What are they expecting to happen? This is the whole voting situation. So why would you need troops all on the streets just for people to vote on which direction the House is going to be ran? Do the Republicans keep control of the House, or will the Democrats get control of the House? Look, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth didn't deny reported plans to have the National Guard response force. What are they responding to? There has to be a problem first, right? You're responding to something. If the midterms aren't until November of 2026, what are they going to be responding to prior to that? The devil's in the details. During a conference on Thursday, a reporter asked Hegseth about a memo circulating on social media detailing the establishment of a National Guard response force that will be trained in a crowd control and civil unrest, deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Naquab, there you go. Passover. That's why we employ and tell brothers and sisters, man, it may sound a little extreme, man, but celebrate and observe your convocational feast like it could be your last. Because you don't know. You don't know. Whether something goes down within the earth that prevents us from keeping them in the future, whether, God forbid, somebody gets removed out the truth, or whatever the case may be, your fellowship may not be the same because somebody then fell out, or who knows. But always, when we come together for the feast of the Lord, you got to really exalt the Most High and Yahweh Shai like none other, especially in these days and times now, because you don't know when it can happen. I remember when COVID hit in 2020, and all kind of congregations were scrambling around. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? There was some that even canceled their Passovers because of the lockdowns and the restrictions and everything else. The Lord didn't ever tell us to do that. But we were in a position where we were favorable with the Most High, that we had the ability to still get our lambs, still go through the whole process and hold them in households to where we was able to do it. But there was some who was panicking. Tabernacles, people wasn't keeping tabernacles like they used to. Everything was shut down. But all praise to the Most High, we didn't miss a beat, because the Most High gave us the wisdom and gave us the resources to get where we need to get to continue on. But you never know. That's a precursor for us to always remember. You don't know. So here he is, April of 2026. They said that they're going to have National Guards in every state for crowd control and civil unrest. Now it says this is a response team. So that means that they are expecting issues where they need to control crowds, and they're expecting civil unrest by or before April 2026. Because again, the elections ain't till November. So what are you preparing for? I'm going to leave that one there. Look at this. He says, I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process. Oh, okay. Classified, huh? Well, he just gave you a hint. He just told us what may be coming down the pipeline. So then you got to put two and two together, and you're saying, okay, well, maybe they are looking to incite riotous behavior with zombie hordes of people looking for food and looking for their next meal and breaking into homes and doing what they need to do to try to survive. Maybe they are trying to turn up everything so that they can come in with a solution and say, okay, boom, troops on the streets, we're going to have to keep them there. We got the camps opened up. We're locking down everybody, and everybody that was trying to participate in this, we got to have a whole new way of how we're distributing this money, because people were stealing people's identities, and digital biometrics, everything's in full effect. It's going to take a minute. If you want your money, you're going to have to do this, that, and the third to get it. They may be pushing a panic button on that. Let's see. I mean, hell, look how fast everything's accelerating. Trump's only been in office. This is on his 10th month. And look how much activity, how much things have been turned up, from the economy to wars to everything that's been happening, famine, homelessness, joblessness, that's just in 10 months. Yeah, it was bubbling and it was still going bad during slow Biden's era, but it's only accelerating. That's why we read earlier in 2nd Ezra 5 that it's only going to get worse. 10 months. So imagine he still got another 3 years to fulfill everything that he got going on. And they ain't hitting no brakes. Let's continue. ICE is mounting a mass surveillance campaign on American citizens. What happened to the immigrants? Oh no, it's everybody now. Mass surveillance. Big brother, eyes everywhere. Right? His desires to be like the Most High. When the Most High said in Sirach that his eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. Let's get that in Sirach. Sirach 23:19. It says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knowing that the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun. That's him in trying to be in competition with the Most High. His surveillance state, he wants eyes and ears everywhere, from your phones listening to you, to your damn smart TVs, to the smart meters monitoring everything going on in your house, to the dishwashers, to the refrigerators listening to you. That's him trying to be like the Most High. He said he was going to do that in Isaiah 14, where it says, I'm going to be like the Most High. The Lord said, man, his eyes are the only ones who's 10 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. That's the God complex that the so-called white man has. He wants to be like the Most High. This is why you see here, mass surveillance campaign on American citizens without strict oversight. The agency's new technology threatens Americans' free speech and privacy. While a federal judge scrutinizes the constitutionality of tactics used by federal immigration authorities during ongoing protests in Chicago, these same agencies are quietly amassing behind-the-scenes surveillance technology. Oh, quiet, behind the scenes. Originally slated to target undocumented immigrants. You see how it always expands? That's the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. Oh, the problem is these immigrants. They're all over the place. They're taking over. They're taking the jobs. They're invading. They're raping. They're killing. They're selling drugs. They're doing it all. So now you got a reaction. We got to do something about this. Build the wall. Vote in Trump. Do what we need to do. America first. Get rid of these damn. Oh, then they do that. Well, if we're going to do that, then we need to go ahead and get the military on the streets. We got to build the wall. We're going to have to mass surveil. We're going to have to change up a few things. You okay with that? Yeah, do what you got to do, as long as it's about them. Oh, yeah, it will be about them. Don't worry. And then it's not only about them. Hey, well, we've been having some problems with some unruly citizens over here. It's a crime. You got a problem with us extending that out for criminals? No, it's about criminals, sure. Hey, well, you might be a criminal too, because we saw your Facebook post that said this, that, and the third. We're going to have to watch you too. Hey, I got freedom of speech. You can't do that. Oh, no, you gave us the right to. You said it was okay, remember? Hey, but I didn't mean that. Too late. Now the devil done got you again. So it says it was only to target undocumented immigrants at first. The technology is now being used to investigate protesters of Agent Orange, President Donald Trump, the chump, mass deportation campaign. So if you was out there protesting about the mass deportation, that we're watching, we're documenting, and we're on you. Look at this, backed by funding from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Remember, he had $500 billion that he dedicated towards AI and tech alone. And gave ICE some bread. It says he's entered into contracts with companies to provide surveillance capabilities with facial recognition algorithms and iris scanning identification apps, controversial spyware on smartphones, and a real-time smartphone location and social media tracking system. They got it all. The grid system, the B system is in full flare. Smartphone location, social media tracking, spyware on the phones, facial recognition algorithms, iris scanning identity apps. And then you've got Oracle, OpenAI, Google, all of them incorporated in the whole situation. See, Palantir running all of this whole big old beast system surveillance grid. And it's all going down, man. I mean, this beast system is here, man. And they said, oh, it was just for certain people. You're protesting, campaigning, this, that, and the third. That's for that. Sooner or later, it's going to be for everybody and anybody, right? So the grid system is already lined up. Everything we've been accustomed to, we've grown to love, can't live without, gotta have the phone, gotta have my app, I can't leave my social media alone. They're on it. They're on it. That's why people getting fired from their jobs. The whole nine. You speak out, you say anything, it's over with. Right? Let's go. Trump refugee plan seeks 7,000 Afrikaners and virtually no one else. Remember last week they said they were getting ready to change the immigration system to favor whites only? Everybody else they were going to leave hanging? Everybody else they were going to leave hanging? Yeah, they want more Afrikaners. Remember when they let them Afrikaners come in, the little refugees? That was African, the poor South African farmers, man, fleeing South African oppression. Got them over here, man. As soon as they got over here, man, one of the dudes, man, killed his wife. They buried that one quick. I thought they supposed to have been deported and get rid of them. No. Whites only, man. Look at it. The Trump administration is planning to overhaul the U.S. refugee resettlement process, including a drastic reduction in overall annual admissions. Coincides with a concerted effort to prepare thousands of white South Africans to relocate to the United States through the system, according to documents reviewed by the Washington Post and people familiar with the matter. Now, if you remember in his early campaigning, he surrounded himself with a few white South Africans, billionaires, Elon Musk being one of them. I forgot the other two. So they already had their vested interest in then rubbing elbows with him, saying, hey, man, look out for us. And they've gone full-fledged with it. They're trying to make America white again, right? We talked about this whole thing some I don't know how long ago, months back at least, about the whole apartheid South Africa thing, and now the white folks is over there acting like they oppressed. And I mean, let's knock it off. But to the rescue, here he comes. He's gonna save them. But anybody else, nobody from Haiti, you not coming over here, even though you're going through hell over there. Mexico, South Central America, West Africa, you name it. No. We need the pure Christian white folks from some South Africa, man. Let them come on over here. Remember, they even changed up the Civil Rights Department in the White House, man. It's being ran by white men now. So good luck with justice there. All right. Listen to this maniac.
Speaking of China, Mr. President, on soybeans, are you confident that you'll be able to
I want them to buy soybeans. One of the things I want is China's going to buy soybeans.
Now, he's being questioned about Argentina, right? Now, Argentina is completely collapsed. Their inflation rate with the dollar is worse than Venezuela. They had that new president over here, Malay, this guy right here. And let's look. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if
y'all. On soybeans, are you confident that you'll be able to
I want them to buy soybeans. One of the things I want is China's going to buy soybeans. I want China to stop with the fentanyl. Very, normal things. I don't want them to play the rare earth game with us.
He wants China to stop the fentanyl, but he won't go and start no war with them, though, like he's doing Venezuela, right? He can identify the drugs. He knows what they're doing, the whole line, but he ain't going over there. But he's going to Venezuela. Now, hold on. You tell me, does this guy look like he's a descendant of the Inca down there in Argentina, Peru? Does he look like he's a native to the land? Blue eyes, raggedy hair, All right, catch you later, man. Do they look like they're indigenous to the people? Okay, yeah, y'all know. That's they ain't the people. All right. So the question is being posed. See, Argentina's been selling their soybeans to China. So they asked the chump, they saying, hey, you got a problem with what they're doing over there? And he's saying, yeah, I don't want them to buy from China. I want China to get that soybeans from them and all of that. I want China to stop the fentanyl. Now watch how he gets down on this reporter.
Build a website you love.
See, look at this.
With Wix.
I ain't play no damn ad before. And I don't want to play
For your words.
All right, let's go.
Sticking with China, Mr. President, on soybeans, are you confident that you'll
I
be
want
able to
them
get
to
a
buy
deal?
soybeans. One of the things I want is China's going to buy soybeans. I want China to stop with the fentanyl. Very, normal things. I don't want them to play the rare earth game with us.
But you want them to, but do you think they will make a deal on soybeans?
I do
and start
believe, yeah,
taking-
because otherwise I'm not going to make a deal. No, I want them to buy. Our farmers have been boycotted by China as a negotiating point. I don't want that. Our farmers are great. And
Now you hear him. He said our farmers are great. Farmers been boycotted by China, right? But why are the farmers over here complaining? Cattle farmers, soybean farmers, they're all complaining about how Trump has left them hanging and is seeking imports from other countries. Oh, okay.
particular soybean farmers, and I want them to start buying soybeans at least in the amount that they were buying before. And I believe they'll be able to do
But
it.
sticking with soybeans, and when Argentina, you're looking to do that deal with Argentina, the meal swap. So,
With respect to beef?
are we expecting a beef
No,
deal?
I assume you're talking about beef. Yeah,
No,
to get beef prices down. The only price we have that's high is beef, and we'll get that down. And one of the
He said the only price that we have that's high is beef. Let's take a poll. All y'all that's in the chat right now, if you only got a problem buying beef, everything else is affordable, throw 7 in the chat. If he's a bold-faced lie, throw 1 in the chat. He said the only thing that's expensive right now is beef. So he's saying the only way we can get the beef down is if we import it from Argentina. But what's that going to do for the cattle farmers here? And I see multiple ones. I see you, Aaliyah. There you go. I'm seeing ones. Okay. So the devil is a lie, huh? Okay. So he's saying, hey, the only thing that's expensive is beef. But if I can import the beef from Argentina, that'll solve everything. We can sell it cheaper, so everybody can have some steak and potatoes now. Really? So the cattle farmers here, what's going to happen to them?
things we're thinking about doing is beef from Argentina.
But my question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are a top
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it.
See when she cutting? What are you gonna do about? Well, what do you say to the farmers who say that you're reneging on your America First deal? You're cutting them off so that you can get food, you can get beef from Argentina. What do you say about that? Look, Argentina's fighting for their life, young lady. You don't know nothing about that, huh? Oh, who's fighting for their life? Come on, man. So the Haitians, they not fighting for their life over there right now. Brothers and sisters down there in South Central America fleeing third world conditions, they not fighting for their life. But when you look like President Milei and the rest of them, oh yeah, you can help them. And what's even more deep is I was watching this other video, and it was a couple of Edomites, man, that was breaking it down that this is all illegal, like insider trading and backing. There's some elites who invested in Argentina when Milei got elected, and they were counting on him to turn the country around so they can get their money back. You know, they buy the bonds and they help bail out Argentina in expectation that once Argentina gets on their feet, they give them their money back and they start reaping the benefits. Well, that ain't happened. Argentina keeps falling. So in order for those investors, and I forgot the cat's names, in order for them not to lose their money, America now has to bail them out so that their backers, these elites, the 1% that's calling the shots, has got their hands up this dude's two butt cheeks, controlling him. In order for them not to lose their money, they got to bail them out so that they can get back the money via that. You know, these powerful banks that's drumming up the money, printing up the money, like this is how they getting. This is why they bailing out Argentina and not these other particular countries that need help. Because he can sit back and say, well, they're fighting for their life over there. What country over here is it? Let me let him back it up, and I'm gonna let him go.
More than it is them, as they are a top.
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard.
Look, they have no money. They say that Haiti is the most impoverished country in the Western Hemisphere. Where's the aid at for them? Is it there? No. Why? Because they don't fit the complexion for their connection, and they don't have the political ties with America. They ain't bound down, right? You've got what's the name of that reservation in North Dakota? Shoot, I forgot the name of the reservation. There's a particular man. I used to have that thing on the top of my head. It's a reservation in North Dakota. It's like the most impoverished place in America. I hate that I can't remember. And this, look at it. You see right here, South Dakota. Native American poverty rate is highest in South Dakota. 49% of Native Americans in the state live in poverty. Pine Ridge, that was it. Pine Ridge, Rosebud, Sioux reservations. If you do a little research on them, man, they're living in third world conditions over there. That's here alone. He's talking about they're fighting for their lives. Young lady, you don't know. Yeah. But meanwhile, you can see he's only protecting and taking care of them because of, bottom line, is money interests that people, high powerful people have invested in Argentina, and they ain't trying to lose their money. And now that whole America First scenario is out the door. He's got to protect his interests. He got to protect his presidency. So they're giving them $20 billion to bail out. Meanwhile, federal workers is getting fired. Federal workers is lined up. I don't know if y'all seen them pictures, man, of them lined up at a food bank. If y'all didn't see that this is federal workers lined up at the food banks. Let me see if I can find it. Here goes one right here. Federal workers lined up at food banks ahead of the first missed payments, the furloughs. Let me see if I can find it, because I don't want to spend too much time. I'm just moving in the spirit on this one. But there was one particular picture. I think it was on X or somewhere, but they had a gang of cars lined up. Food bank is already saying, man, they about to run out of food. But anyway, if y'all ain't found it, or you know what I'm talking about, then you picking up what I'm putting down. But anyway, you see the videos here. This is just for the federal workers. And he's talking about, I'm going to give $20 billion to Argentina, man, bail them out. This is what's going to cause people to really get turned up and like, man, the hell with him. He ain't going to look out for us. You know? All right, I'm gonna skip this one. I'm gonna move on because I gotta get to some more. New Mexico ranchers voice concerns on Trump's plan to import beef from Argentina. He's gonna tell them, hey, you don't know what they're talking about.
President Trump has announced plans to import beef from Argentina in order to bring down the price of meat at the grocery store.
But ranchers here in New Mexico are worried that plan will hurt their profits. News 13's Bianca Hoops explains.
New Mexico cattle ranchers are weighing in on President Donald Trump's plan to import more beef from Argentina, a move aimed at lowering prices in grocery stores.
My first thought is it's kind of a slap in the face to cattle ranchers to beef producers.
The president's plan has caused confusion with cattle growers across the country.
Didn't we just read in 2 Ezra 5? It says it's going to be confusing in the land. Well, here they go. First thought is I got slapped in the face. You're damn right you did.
It's surprising because President Trump has been very supportive of farming and ranching, beef production in particular.
Huh?
The New Mexico Farm and Livestock Bureau says they support fair trade between the U.S. and other countries, but they worry the deal will affect local beef producers.
We're just now, this is the first year we're actually going to maybe make a little money. And it seemed like he just tried to undercut us.
The New Mexico Cattle Growers Association agrees. They say flooding the market with more beef products could hurt their pockets.
It's a sad thing to say that the cattle industry has been nothing but a break even or a very, very marginal profit generating business for the last 15 years.
Bronson Corn says they are recovering from a long drought that has decreased the number of cattle and lowered productivity.
So are the beef prices at the store high on a sticker shock? You bet. Are they high on a per person of what you're feeding them? It's really not.
He adds that history.
Well, look at that. Boo hoo. You got stabbed in the back. Well, look, the Lord told us, man, never trust our enemies.
President Trump has announced.
Play again. So don't trust your enemies, right? But let's look at Sirach 12. In verse 13. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So the Most High said, man, you don't have no pity when somebody want to play around with snakes, you get bit. You want to go out there and run with the bulls like they be doing in Spain and all that, you get gored, you get what you get. Right? That's why the Lord said, man, don't trust your enemy in the 10th verse. Never trust our enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That's a lesson for all of us. And now, if we're moving in this particular spirit, we won't be confused. We won't be sitting up here saying, why did he do that? Damn, I trusted him. I thought my vote counted. I thought he was going to look out for us. You thought wrong. Now they're sitting back having buyer's remorse like, oh, well, I'm surprised. I thought he was going to look out for us. I thought, no. It's about finance, economics, his own words, the art of the deal with his book and all that, man. He's doing what's best interest for him and his only. Look at it. You wonder why? Hold on. $250 million. He's tearing down the damn White House. Demolishes the White House East Wing to build a $250 million ballroom. He's doing renovations on the White House, $250 million, and got his own federal workers in food lines. This is what you call a damn dictatorship. Remember when we talked about Elagabalus, Roman emperor, man, that was enthralled with lavish gifts and loved little boys and all that other stuff? Like, this is the same spirit that's rising up on a guy like this. Gold throughout the White House. Meanwhile, everybody, this is in the middle of the hood too in DC, right? Everybody outside the damn hood is getting patrolled with damn troops on the streets. Remember that video I showed where they was in DC? Cats was chilling on their porch and ICE rolled through on them. What you smoking on? What you doing? Hey, tell all your people, man, we're here. Trump's done laid down the law. Blocks from the White House. And he's in his palace, man, with gold and extending and doing renovations. $250 million. You think that money could go somewhere else? LA still got the tent cities all over the damn place, man. Skid Row looks like a bomb hit it. Look at this maniac. This is what he's up to. And now look how this is also going to affect things. 5,500 truckers fail the English skills test, lose driving privileges in the U.S. Industry leader says. So now they're talking about 5,500 truckers that are importing and exporting things and traveling and doing all this work. Now they're cut out the game because they didn't pass an English assessment. I don't know how they got by, but nonetheless, that means that there's 5,500 trucks is now off the road. That's not going to be importing and bringing anything up in here. or traveling, or it's going to delay deliveries, stocking up of things, this, that, and the third. Right? Oh, but don't worry, the AI self-driving trucks is on the way. States throughout the U.S. have revoked driver privileges for 5,500 commercial truck drivers who failed basic English assessments while working north of the border, according to Israel Delgado Vallejo, Vice President of Mexico's Northwest Chamber of Freight Transporters. So far, we registered 5,500 out of service and suspended licenses. We're seeing harder and more stringent enforcement. 6 months ago, President Trump issued an executive order reinstituting an existing law that mandates commercial truck drivers must speak and understand enough English to read road signs and interact with law enforcement. Apparently, they've been doing all right until he done laid the law down, right? But here you see, now you're going to see a problem with trucking and bringing in and importing and exporting. That could breed shortages of supplies and demand. Now you see why they're saying, oh, we've got to have a preparedness and a readiness reaction, a responding force by April.
As the government shutdown continues, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced a hold on SNAP benefits for the month of November. Fox 43's Matt Kleindens looks at how many families could be impacted by the funding delay.
Food banks across the region are staying prepared as the government shutdown threatens to affect food assistance programs.
Food is really just such a fundamental thing for life.
This week, the U.S. Department of Agriculture sent a letter ordering state governments to hold all November SNAP payments.
So now I missed that part. They said the letters have already gone out that November is going to be withheld. So even if a government shutdown does end, say Thursday, Wednesday, next week, whatever, them benefits in November still ain't coming. They're going to have to reassess, get the budgets done, reenact the departments, do all the other stuff. So it's going to take a little bit of, it may take a minute before that they even get it cracking again. So we know for sure, according to this, November is out. Let me make sure I didn't miss that.
Thing for life.
This week, the U.S. Department of Agriculture sent a letter ordering state governments to hold all November SNAP payments as the government shutdown continues into its third week. The announcement would prevent $366 million from entering the Commonwealth and affect nearly 2 million Pennsylvanians.
A missed benefit payment even by a week or two would have ripple effects that they would have to find a way to make up for.
Zach Zook with the Central PA Food Bank says the increase could bring more traffic to food pantries in their service area. He adds the government shutdown comes amid a growing trend of food insecurity across the region.
In the last 2 years alone, food insecurity has increased by 44% in central Pennsylvania and by 40% in the state of Pennsylvania. So, and that matches.
Did you hear that? He said Pennsylvania alone is up over 40% of food insecurity. That's just the one state. That's happening in Mississippi, Colorado, Florida, LA, all over the place.
Increases seen nationally.
In a statement, the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services placed the blame on congressional Republicans for the pause in SNAP payments, saying, quote, Congress has the ability to prevent the harm this will cause to Pennsylvania families and small businesses, and we urge Republicans in Congress to reopen the government and protect vulnerable Pennsylvania.
See, here they go. They're saying the Republicans are blaming the Democrats. We voted 12 times. They keep turning it down. Oh, and the Democrats are saying we voted them. We're saying we want the health care to be taken care of, and that they're playing these damn games. Meanwhile, $250 million reconstruction ballrooms about to get set up in the White House, and $40 billion. They said $20 billion, but they said that they're getting ready to give an additional $20 billion. From a private bank or something like that to Argentina. So they're about to get them $40 billion. billion, as Trump would say, billions of dollars going out, right? But you're going to see people here starved out.
Pennsylvanians at risk
Just for the
because
run. Now, look at this. They said this government shutdown could be the longest ever. It's already the second longest. Maybe running until Thanksgiving. Oh, how tragic. People going to miss out on their Thanksgiving. So you know these Negroes and Hispanics, man, these zombies, they're going to be acting a damn fool. If Christmas gets canceled, Thanksgiving get canceled, they're going to act a damn fool. They can't get their spiced hams, and they can't get their turkey, and they can't get their stuffing, and their mac and cheese, and black-eyed peas, and every damn thing else that they love to shove down their throats. You can't get it. All of a sudden now, all hell's going to break loose. They're already, see, you got to see, they're already putting it out there. Get ready. This is why they out here in the dang panic now. Oh, hell no. Ain't not my Thanksgiving. I need my gravy and biscuits. Big Mama do. They are already telling you, get ready. It's gonna last at least to Thanksgiving. We just heard them. They said letters have gone out. November's benefits are canceled. Canceled. And that's right. All praise to the Most High. Cancel these damn heathenistic, damn pagan customs, man. We've been trying to do it for years. It takes a white man to cut off your damn food cards to get you to stop and wake up. Well, good. Good. Let's move on. U.S. states warn food aid benefits will halt if benefit shutdown drags on. We know that. So they talking about over 40 million people is going to get hit with this. Now, hold on. Here go the zombies right here. Look at them. Here they go.
everybody going around saying that motherfuckers can't with the cart.
Now you see this one right here. I know she's an actress. She's a provocateur. She's acting. She's too animated. She's trying to do it for the views to go viral. Watch her head moves and everything she got.
Saying that motherfuckers can't with the cart.
And that's the noise that everybody hears. This is the social experiment. This is where they do the psychological warfare on people. They unleash the little TikTok armies, right? Remember, Biden had a TikTok army. The Democrats got their own little TikTok army for influence, right? Republicans got the same thing going on. Look at this. I'm stealing Thanksgiving dinner if my food stamps don't pay for it. No food stamps for the folly days. All they worried about is keeping up with their pagan customs, man, and bowing down to Baal and all the other damn heathen gods that they can. They're worried about Nimrod and unbelievable. That, you know what? That you're exactly right. That's Mockingbird media at its best. When they're all saying the same thing, it's all programmed and it's constantly rotating in and out of your feeds. People doomsday scrolling, the algorithms lock in and say, oh, you like seeing these little viral videos about people complaining about the shutdown. We'll send you more. We're going to send you more. We're going to send you more. We're going to send you more. And next thing you know, you're inundated with all of the same foolishness. Look at this. Don't risk your lives for a bag of groceries for the loss of EBT benefits. She's basically saying, workers, stand down, give us what we want, or we're going to smite you. Now, let's hear somebody a little bit more concentrated outside of the confusion. Listen to this sister. She was in that video. Some of y'all may have seen this.
People are going to start, I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores, they're going to start watching people go to their cars. And they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do? Not our problem. Not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property. Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They're going to leave your ass for dead. And people are really going to be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you, it seems like it's headed that way. Now, what other choices are people gonna have to find food?
They've been doing that. Remember all of the smash and grabs that was going on during COVID? People was, especially when you can wear a mask and a hood and look normal. That was a normal uniform for everybody to wear a mask and some shades on and a hood and look like you're protecting yourself. But meanwhile, that was a whole damn outfit for a criminal. People running up in everything from jewelry stores to grocery stores to CVS, Walmarts. They're still those places are still reeling. CVS's are still closing right now. Walgreens is still closing right now because of all the losses that they took. That's been going on. But here they are hyping up a whole new reason to have organized chaos. Remember all the smash and grabs? The young little YNs running up into 7-Elevens and gas stations and looting out the stores and running up out. They've been doing all that.
To eat. Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're going to look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, about to go home and feed your family from the.
And right now, it's some sister sitting back with a blunt in her mouth saying, that's right, girl. My babies ain't going to starve. She right. We do need it. Tyrone, get you and the homies, because if we got to starve, we going up. You feel me? Like this, they watching this right now, doom scrolling, high out their minds, saying, that makes sense. Yeah, we're going to do it. But guess what? You know what? It does make sense. And it's prophetic too, though. The Most High said that this is going to go down. Let's see that in a second, Ezra. But people going to do that. So that's what I'm saying. Is it possible that this could extend into this time right now? See that? Second Ezra 15. And we'll read 14 down. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against another, stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So civil war, that's ringing through the echo chambers right now. Race wars ringing through the echo chambers right now. We're seeing all this stuff playing out right now, right? Uprisings or uproars of the people. They're protesting right now over there in the UK over the digital ID. See, look at this, 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. What's sedition? Sedition is an uprising against a government, a governmental body, people rebelling against authority. You're hearing that now echoing all throughout the social media sphere. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're not going to obey authority. Those times is going to come. This is why they're already trying to pre-plan and say, well, we need a response force ready. Because we're getting ready to squeeze them dry. And they're going to react. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So, there you go. This time is going to come. Now we're seeing the people already talking about it's here now. Shit, November, I ain't got my benefits. I'm robbing Granny in the parking lot. She got a cart full of groceries. I ain't got time to be worried about where she going or how old she is. I'm eating. You gonna have times, man, where that's why I always say, y'all better be careful with telling people what you got at your house, how you preparing. You telling people at your job, telling people your neighbors, and oh yeah, I ain't gonna get caught slipping. I got a whole pantry full of food and bullets to go. And they don't give a damn about hearing no bullets because they got bullets too, and they coming and saying, all hell breaks loose. We know such and such of them, they got food. We going right to their house. We're gonna ask first. If they don't break bread, we take him. That's how it's going to go down. And it says, no pity on his neighbor, whether it's your physical neighbor or your own people. Remember, the law tells us to love our neighbor, as I tell you, it's going to be your own people, man. It's going to come at you. Let alone your family and everybody, they going to come. They want it. Why? Because of great tribulation, lack of bread, they're going to spoil your goods. Here they are online already prophesying, saying, we're going to do it. So it's either going to be reality or it's going to be fiction. Either they capping just for views or it's really going to go down. One of the two. There's no other options. We already know. They just said November's cut off. So we're going to see if people jump out there. If them food banks run dry, they're going to be coming for it. Now watch this.
Listen to this clip of Chuck Schumer calling for a forceful uprising. I kid you not.
People should be forcefully rising up against this, speaking out against it.
Okay, so that was the most prominent elected Democrat in America calling for a forceful uprising. Those were the words.
Now, mind you, he said he's the most prominent voice of the Democrats right now, saying there needs to be a forceful uprising. For what you see, look what they got you going through. It's the Republicans' fault. They're the ones that started the shutdown. They're the ones laying off. They're the ones firing jobs. They're the ones that getting you evicted and cutting your SNAP benefits. They're the ones. You need to do something about it. See how these little weasel damn devils, man, they get in your ear, tell you what you should be doing. Meanwhile, they're the ones who really started it off. And see, then you get these talking heads on there.
Listen to this clip of Chuck Schumer calling for a forceful uprising.
You've got, and I shared this before, look at this. You got what's known as a Judas scope. Because you got people on here that's on social media, that's promoting and telling everybody what they should be doing and what they're going to do. Meanwhile, they ain't going to be the ones out there doing it. They're trying to motivate and get people to react and get out there and do it. Why is it so small? You got a scenario called a Judas goat, right? A Judas goat is a specially trained goat that leads sheep or other livestock to a specific destination, often to slaughter, while its own life is spared. You're gonna have plenty of Stephen from Django's. You're gonna have all of them that's telling everybody what they should do. All them talking heads, all them social media people on there talking about, yeah, we're gonna get out there, we're gonna stop me. I'm gonna whack you upside the head with my helmet. You should spare your own life because I'm eating it. Meanwhile, they ain't gonna be out there doing none of this. It's gonna be the ones who's really out there suffering, the ones who's really out there. Because why I say that? Because they're gonna get a little bit of money from them damn TikTok streams that they getting. They getting some money somehow, some way. That sister that was screaming, talking about, you gotta take care of my kids. Who's taking care of that car note that you sit in here filming your damn video from? You see, they're utilizing these particular people, man, and the algorithms are boosting it to influence the mind frames of the people, right? But these same people, they ain't gonna be the ones out there doing it, leading the charge, but they're going to lead the sheep into destruction. This is why the law tells us, Exodus 23. What's the law tells us? Thou shalt not, Exodus 23:2, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause of decline after many rested judgment. Now, don't get me wrong. Even the scriptures say nobody despises a thief if he steals because he's hungry. But if he gets caught, he's got to pay back sevenfold. Let me see if I can get that one in Proverbs. Yeah, here you go. 6:30. Right. It says, men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if you read the next verse, it tell you But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. So you could take penitentiary chance if you want. People know you hungry, man. You stealing. You trying to get by. I get it. But if you get caught, you got to pay the piper, right? Now, the Most High told us, man, don't follow a multitude to do evil. What they're trying to do is organize mobs of people to hit these stores, to further collapse the economy, to further collapse businesses. They've already did that with COVID and everything else, right? They want to control, knock all them things down. Bill Gates got all the damn farmland and everything. They know what they're doing. Yahweh told us also in Matthew 7:13, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go thereat. Verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Translation, you don't go and do what everybody else is doing. That wide gate where everybody's being led through is going to get people destroyed and killed and out of the kingdom of heaven. There's a narrow path that few are going to find that's going to make it through. So it ain't about where everybody's at and where all the people is. No, it's where they're not actually. That's where the Most High, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, is dwelling and leading and guiding people. So don't fall for the okie doke. I know everybody listening here isn't, but you can see here.
Listen to this clip of Chuck Schumer calling for a
This is a provocateur moment. They get the TikTok army to stir up the people. They're all Judas goats. They're out there leading everybody, telling everybody where to go, and they're being led to slaughter. Because what do? They got the troops on the streets. They ready. And now here you go, these damn demons saying, we need a forceful uprising. You need to get out there.
Forceful uprising. I kid you not.
People should be forcefully rising up against this, speaking out against it.
Okay, so that was the most prominent elected Democrat in America calling for a forceful uprising. Those were the words that he used. The last time we saw a forceful uprising in this country, the Confederacy fired on Fort Sumter and the Civil War began.
That's a lie. That was January 6th. They just did that, a forceful uprising. What's he talking about?
And the left are calling for that again. We're serious. And we know that sensible people right now are probably rolling.
See, he's politicized. He just lied and said that the last time there was a forceful uprising was a damn civil war, which is what they're all, proclaiming is ready to hit the fan anyway. But we just seen January 6th, that whole insurrection. That wasn't a forceful uprising? What are we talking about? But that was because they were all MAGA and all that other stuff. You can't say that because he's controlled. Anyway, let's move on.
Their eyes.
Look, locals are leaving. Permits are few. Malibu is suffering a post-fire identity crisis. We talked about this when they went down. They're going to take over and make smart cities out of Altadena, the Palisades, and Malibu. Remember all them fires they burnt down out here a year ago? Now all of a sudden, barren wastelands. They're slowing up on the permits, allowing people to come back and rebuild. They're going to implement eminent domain. They're going to let the government come in, take over these places. 2028 Olympics coming up. Smart cities implemented. This is what they're doing. So, as we predicted and said, this was all a big land grab in some of the more prominent areas in Southern California. Altadena, very nice area. Historically, many of well-to-do Black folks were living there. They all lost everything. I had a cousin lost their house. Other brothers got family or lived out in that area and had to deal with the carnage left. So they've been removed and taken out. Palisades, well-to-do area. Malibu, goes without saying. All these particular areas now is all being taken over. Look, Altadena, Pacific Palisades, 2 communities hit hardest by the January fires. There are rebuilding permits aplenty. The city of LA, which is handling most permits in the Palisades, has issued 801, around 43% of the total applications received, according to data from the state's rebuilding dashboard. LA County, which is handling most permits in Altadena, and has issued 577, around 26% of the total application received. So far, Malibu has issued 4, about 2% of the total application received. It's depressing, said Abe Roy, Malibu resident and professional builder. In May, Roy was appointed as the city's first rebuild ambassador, a volunteer role created to find solutions to administrative obstacles and speed up the rebuild. He publicly resigned last month, citing frustrations with slow permitting processes. So they're frustrating the processes of anybody getting a permit, allowing them to rebuild back. They're slowing it down. They're trying to let the city come in and buy up. I know there was a few lots in Palisades that the city was buying up, and they were going to build affordable housing there. And the residents there was in an uproar, like, heck no, that ain't what we had here first. We want our houses back. We want our, stores and stuff back. And the city's like, hey, you ain't got the permits for it. We do. So that's how they coming in and they knocking that whole thing down. We did a wedding out in Malibu last summer, or this past summer, I should say. And driving along that coastline, there still is burnt cars all along the coastline, building. I mean, homes still looking like they, just came off of being extinguished. The whole hillside still burnt down. It's still jacked up over there. But here they are saying, well, we're going to slowly implement these permits, and we'll selectively decide who's gonna be able to rebuild and who's not. Most of the people ain't gonna be able to rebuild, man. It's gonna be a complete land grab. Half the internet goes down. Amazon cloud outage, leaving millions unable to use Ring, Alexa, banking apps. Experts say we can't rule out a cyber attack. No kidding. How many times have we been talking about the cyber polygon that they were instituting back in, 2021, 2023? You don't remember that? Look it up. The cyber polygon. They were talking about doing cyber attacks to test the infrastructure of the internet and all of that, right? And this is why you can't trust this beast system, man, because at a push of a button, you can lose it all, from your finances to the security of your house. You name it. People couldn't tap in the Ring, Alexa, the banking apps. We've seen banking collapses hidden everywhere from Thailand to here. People getting locked out of their accounts. It's bad news, man. When this beast system really comes in and they say, hey, man, you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell unless you play by the rules. That's exactly what they're trying to institute. And they're just running through some test points and checks to see, did that work? Yeah, it worked. Shut down everything. Great. Did that work? Yep, sure did. People in a frenzy. They tripping. Okay, good. So when we got them all lined up in the damn pond, we'll just drop in the damn bleach and cyanide pills and flush them out. And if they want to be able to survive, they're going to come begging to be part of this new system. Look, Alaska Airlines restoring operations after grounding flights across the U.S. over IT outages. How many times have we been hearing about that? From whole airports like Burbank being shut down because of government shortages, IT issues, planes crashing into each other on the tarmacs, planes damn near hitting each other in the air, and in some cases half hitting each other in the air. I mean, they're collapsing this whole damn system, man. You can't even trust to fly no more. You don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. But this is the chaos that they're creating. Brother mentioned it earlier. I got you. Don't worry. Student handcuffed after Doritos bag is mistaken for a gun by the school's AI security system. This part for the course. I showed y'all last week, man. OpenAI got that technology where they've got, not only can AI doctor and create fake videos showing you stealing or me stealing or running a red light or whatever the case may be, using my voice, your voice in the fake doctor video to get you caught up. Now they've got AI. They're relying on AI to do recognition systems in the schools. The kid got a bag of chips in his hand, and AI alerts the damn police and says he's got a gun. They handcuff him, but before they handcuff him, they had to draw down on him. Armed police came and searched it. Now imagine if they were some paranoid, freaked out cops that showed up and had to shoot first, ask questions later mentality, man. Little dude would have been smoked over some damn chips. Armed police handcuffed and searched a student at a high school in Baltimore County, Maryland this week after an AI-driven security system flagged the teen's empty bag of chips as a possible firearm. Baltimore County officials are now calling for a review of how Kenwood High School uses the AI gun detection system and why the teen ended up in handcuffs despite school safety officials quickly determining there was no weapon. They made me get on my knees, put my hands behind my back, and cuffed me. Kenwood student Takai Allen told CNN affiliate WBAL, describing what happened Monday evening when police arrived at the school while he was waiting with friends for a ride home after football practice. This is how you see, man. The eyes and ears of the beast system can't be trusted because guess what? AI, remember, it's a data collecting system. The more you feed it, the more it knows, the more full it gets. But it's got to get programmed starting off with things. This is why the facial recognition they've been finding, it's been having issues with racial discrimination and all that because who's programming it? The same paranoid, racist people is creating AI saying you got to watch them. The darker the skin, the more prone they are to crime. The lighter they are, you dig what I'm saying? And then they sit back here programming AI, and now AI is saying, okay, black is bad. He's black, he's got dreads, and he's got something in his hand. I've been programmed through my data collection that that's a possible threat. Call the police. Then you got them making the fake videos and the AI doctor stuff and all this. I mean, it's beyond Photoshop and all that now. I mean, everything is digitized. You can't tell what's real what isn't, man. We're in a real matrix. Now the little dudes, man, he got to deal with the trauma of getting accosted by the police over a bag of chips because the mouth of the beast said your chips is a gun. Can't trust nothing nowadays, man. It's all bad out here, man. Stay prayed up like we said from the beginning, right? All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Salute to the family that's in the house, everybody that's been tapping in, contributing. Appreciate all of y'all, right? Anybody I missed, I didn't salute when I came on in here, man. Allah Kabar, salam to you, man. Sister Leah, salam to you. Mama Khan in the house, salam to you. Who else I miss? Sister Abby, salam to you. Princess Erica in the house, salam, salam. I see my man, who I see up in here earlier? Asriel, salam to you, man. Preferably you and the brothers is good. Down there in Georgia, right? Other than that, man, I'm gonna get on out of here, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh. We're gonna have a closing Shabbat class around 4:15. Tap in with us, and Lord willing, we'll see you then. Until then, man, always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger. Shalom.